CIAM in regulated industries rarely fails because authentication doesn't work. In fact, authentication usually works just fine. Where organizations start to struggle is everything that comes after. Lifecycle management, policy changes, delegation, auditability, and long-term control. In this video, I want to walk through why CIAM programs quietly degrade in regulated environments and what actually works when identity has to remain defensible for years, not just deploy quickly. How CIAM programs typically begin. Most CIAM initiatives don't start with a big, centralized strategy. They start with one application, then another, then a partner portal, then an external service. Each implementation makes sense in isolation, but identity logic often gets embedded directly into applications. Different teams make different decisions. Policies evolve faster than implementations. Over time, CIAM becomes fragmented, even though nothing is obviously broken. Identity decisions need to be explainable, enforceable, and auditable. Many CIAM platforms were designed for speed and growth. They assume cloud-first deployments, short product life cycles, and centralized control. Regulated environments are different. They require hybrid deployments, clear data ownership, delegated administration, and architectures that survive policy changes, audits, and vendor shifts. When identity control lives inside application code or vendor-specific services, every change becomes harder over time. When CIAM becomes harder to govern than to operate. As programs scale, the impact becomes clear. Policy updates require application changes. Audit evidence is scattered across systems. Lifecycle responsibility becomes unclear. CIAM still works operationally. Users can log in, but governance quietly erodes. At that point, CIAM becomes a long-term risk instead of a foundation. Organizations that succeed with CIAM in regulated environments take a different approach. They treat CIAM as infrastructure, not application logic. Authentication, policy, and lifecycle management live in a shared identity layer that applications integrate with, rather than re-implement. This allows consistent policy enforcement, clear ownership boundaries, delegated administration, and durable auditability, even as applications and regulations change. Importantly, this doesn't require a massive all-at-once program. Most organizations start with one application, one external population, and one policy boundary. CIAM expands only when value is proven, one external population, and one policy boundary. Control stays with the organization, not the platform. If your CIAM program feels functional but increasingly hard to govern, or if long-term control and audit defensibility are concerns, we've put together a deeper written breakdown that walks through this approach in detail. It expands on the same challenges we discussed here and shows how regulated organizations approach CIAM without lock-in or rebuilds. You can find the link in the video description below.